Can you explain to us what circular economy is?
Firstly, I'll start with the holistic notion of sustainability and then circular economy, because I think there's a lot of confusion around the term. I think it's seen by most, and to a certain extent, it's true that it emanates from the sustainability agenda. So you look at, you have climate, you have biodiversity, you have water, you have the human element, workers in the value chain, affected communities, human rights, and then you have circular economy. I said about 2 years ago at a Ramboll internal conference that my ambition was to unfluff the fluff. It's a fluffy, abstract term, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Because it's about materials. It should just be so basic and understandable because you can weigh this stuff. It shouldn't be abstract or remain so. And that's primarily to do with the definition. You have multiple definitions all saying the same thing, multiple paradigms, schools of thought, different, but invariably saying the same thing. For me, it's probably 5 or 6 core themes or elements. So number one is design out waste.
Yeah.
So 90% of waste comes from the design studio, particularly from architects and engineers. What they decide to do determines ultimately the amount of waste that will be arise. Extend lifetime. So lifetime extension and durability would be the second principle. Simply maximize value by keeping stuff in the loop as long as possible. Thirdly, use waste as a resource. There's a phrase that I like, waste is only waste if you waste it.
Yeah.
And it really resonates with me.
Yeah.
Fourthly, facilitate regeneration. I don't necessarily be regenerative because that can be a stretch. Facilitate it, particularly in the building sector and infrastructure. Fifthly, operating systems. It's the king of cliches. Systems thinking, blah, 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 but it's actually really, really true.
Yeah.
Because the value chains and understanding the relationship and the interconnectivity becomes crucial. And finally, and not least, is value creation and capture. Economy is the operative word. It's getting lost. So back to your definition, and with it being a sustainability agenda or an economic paradigm, some schools of thought would actually say it's an economic paradigm and not a sustainability paradigm. So those 6 themes. Now, you ask somebody else, you might get 8.
Yeah.
You ask somebody else, you might get 10 R's.
Yeah.
Ellen MacArthur of the butterfly diagram, all saying the same thing, all a little bit different. So I land on those 6. And when I speak to a manufacturer, a contractor, somebody in the buildings value chain, that's what I tend to focus on.